2 young children vanish without a trace.
It's almost impossible for 2 children to just disappear without somebody seeing something.
Hours later, their mother also goes missing.
It was very odd. You don't see that in missing cases.
The first sign of any of them, this bizarre security video.
That was something that really stood out about this case.
Days of searching lead to a strange development. Their mother is found.
Wandering the streets, sneaking in buildings.
But the mysteries surrounding her odd behavior and her missing children have only deepened.
It's heart-wrenching. Some parents are missing 1 child, and you're missing 2.
Yeah.
The last Sunday Troy Turner spent with his 3 kids was nearly perfect.
It was actually my oldest son's first soccer game ever.
A beautiful summer afternoon in Montgomery County, Maryland.
We got snow cones and we went to the park for a couple hours.
The sun was out, the kids were playing.
It was early September and it was like 80 degrees, you know?
Everyone was having a great time.
Right.
Afterwards, Troy had to go into work, so he dropped his kids off and their mom, Catherine, at her parents' house.
I kissed all the kids, told them I loved them, and then got in the car and drove to work.
Troy and Catherine Hoggle had met years earlier at a bar in Germantown where they both worked.
Were you boyfriend and girlfriend when you had your first child?
By the time the child came, yes, but when she got pregnant, no.
So that was a surprise.
Yes.
But a blessing.
Yes, definitely.
By 2014, the couple had 3 kids, 2 boys and a girl. The oldest was 5, Sarah 3, and Jacob 2. Troy and Catherine weren't married, but raising their family together.
What was your relationship like with her?
I was committed to making it work.
When Troy got off work that Sunday night, Catherine asked him to stop at the grocery store. It was after midnight before he finally made it home. Catherine was waiting for him outside.
She is actually sitting on the steps outside of the apartments when I get there.
Was that odd?
Yeah, I thought so a little bit.
And what does she tell you?
She needed to go grab like a Dr. Pepper real quick or whatever.
Assuming his 3 kids were asleep inside, and knowing Catherine's father, Randy, was spending the night, Troy took Catherine on a quick store run.
Like 3 minutes down the street, 3 minutes back.
He returned home exhausted and ready for bed.
Normally, I would have kissed them all goodnight. I was just tired, and selfishly in my mind, I was thinking if I wake one of them up, then I'm up. So I just went ahead and went to sleep.
So you didn't check the rooms because it was just a long day.
Right, and I had no reason to think there would be anything, you know.
But the next morning, when Troy's 5-year-old wakes him up, he notices the house is eerily quiet.
I realized that as I walked through the house, nobody's there except for myself and him.
Catherine's father had left for work, but where was Catherine, Sarah, and Jacob?
So I go and I look out the window and the minivan's gone. I open my drawer up where I keep the keys and my wallet. They're both gone.
Are you panicked?
Inside? Yes.
Troy quickly gets his son ready for school, then starts calling around looking for Catherine.
I called her father and her mother to see if they knew where she was. They both had no clue.
After putting his oldest son on the school bus, Troy calls 911.
So he called 911 from the bus stop.
Correct.
Just then, Catherine drives up.
When she reappeared at the bus stop, she was able to convince Troy that the kids were fine, they were at a daycare.
Catherine tells Troy she wanted him to sleep in, so she brought their 2 youngest kids to a daycare, something the couple had never done, but had been considering.
Was her story believable at the time?
At the time, yes.
So you're thinking the children are at a daycare center?
Yes.
But that afternoon, when it came time to pick up Sarah and Jacob, Catherine claims she doesn't remember which daycare.
That's whenever I really started to go, okay, what's going on, you know? I just pulled the car. I said, what street is it on? She goes, I don't know. I said, what's it called? She said, I don't know. I said, well, give me the phone number and I'll call them. She goes, I don't have their number. I said, you mean to tell me you put our kids at a daycare, you don't know the name, where it's at, a street name, or have a phone number for it? And she looks at me and she says, well, they have my number.
She's taking you on a wild goose chase.
Right, at that point, I called her mom.
Troy learns Catherine's mom is already searching all the daycares in town for the kids.
That was a huge red flag.
Yes.
Her mom knew something was up.
Right.
Up next, what did Catherine's parents know that Troy didn't?
Your heart has to sink.
And just as the search for Sarah and Jacob begins, Catherine vanishes too.
And she just goes out a side door and disappears.
And then it became things like she would have me pull over and cover her mouth while she was talking to me.